The noun methods of reproduction are broadly grouped into two main types: sexual, asexual. What is asexual mode of reproduction? Asexual reproduction is a mode of reproduction in which new individuals are formed from a single parent and inherits the genes from that parent only. New individuals are identical to the parent. Faster mode of reproduction, known as asexual mode of reproduction. Organisms can reproduce asexually in many ways. Some of them are fission, budding, fragmentation, parthenogenesis, regeneration, natural propagation. Fission. The word fission means splitting. So it is a mode of asexual reproduction where an organism splits to form two or more new individuals. So parental organism splits into two organisms. Here we are having two types of fission: binary fission, multiple fission. So in binary fission, the organism splits into two organisms, and in multiple fission, the organism splits into more than two new organisms. In binary fission, two new individuals are formed. Nucleus divides only once. Unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, eulena, bacteria are the examples of binary fission. In multiple fission, many new individuals are formed. Nucleus divides repeatedly. Examples of multiple fission are plasmodium and many algae. Budding, a growth on the body as a bud that grows to form nearly identical copy of parent. When the bud totally grows, then it separates from the parent and survives independently. Example: yeast. A small projection is coming out from the yeast cell called as bud. These organisms multiply for each half an hour. Fragmentation is a form of sexual reproduction system where a new organism grows from a fragment of the parent. Each fragment develops into a mature, fully grown individual. Example: the spiroera. The spiroera divides into two new parts, and each of these parts regenerated into fully matured organisms. Parthenogenesis is a form of sexual reproduction in which growth and development of embryos occur without fertilization. Example are worms, honeybees, Komodo dragons. Regeneration. If parent organism is cut or broken into multiple pieces, each gives rise to a new individual organisms. That is, if any organism is cut or broken into many pieces, these pieces grow into separate individuals. This is similar to fragmentation. Fragmentation breaks the organism as soon as the organism becomes mature. But in case of regeneration, the organism doesn't break itself. If by any change, if the organism broke into pieces, it has the capability to regenerate its parts. That's why regeneration is said to be accidental process. Examples are flatworm, tapeworm. If somebody cuts this planaria into two pieces, these parts gradually grows other parts. Vegetative propagation. It's a mode of sexual reproduction in plants. Plant parts detached from the parent and form a new plant. Natural vegetative propagation happens naturally. This natural vegetative propagation happens with plant roots, stems, or leaves. These are the plant parts which gets detachment from the parent plant and form a new plant. This plant parts detachment happens naturally by roots. Buds develop in thick fleshy roots which later, when put into soil, develop into new plants. Example: guava, sweet potato, carrot, etc. Vegetative propagation by stems. Runners, stems that grow horizontally above ground. Example: grass, strawberry. Underground stems. These are the stems at under the ground. Some examples are onions, potatoes. These stems give birth to new plants. Vegetative propagation by leaves. Buds are formed along leaf margins which later give rise to a new plant. Example is triphyllum. Cutting. Some plants grow individually. When a piece of a parent plant having bud is cut from the existing plant, the lower part of this cutting is buried in moist cell. After few days, the cut parts having buds grow as an individual plant after developing roots. Example: rose. Layering. A branch of the plant with at least one node is bent towards the ground and a part of it is covered with moist soil, leaving the tip of the branch exposed above the ground. After some time, new roots develop from the part of the branch buried in the soil. The branch is then cut off from the parent plant. The part which has developed roots grows to become a new plant. Grafting. Two plants are joined together in such a way that two stems join and grow as a single plant. One which is attached to soil is called stalk, and the cut stem of another plant without roots is called scion. Both stalk and scion are tied with help of a twine threads and covered by a polythene cover. Grafting is used to obtain a plant with desirable characters. This technique is very useful in propagating improved varieties of various flowers and fruits.